Welcome everyone to Money Matters. My name is Madhura and I'm the host of your show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Sunday 3 p.m. here in Malaysia, and I don't know what time is it in your time zones, but thank you so much for tuning in to the show. If you're new, welcome to Money Matters. Money Matters is basically a talk show where we aim to create awareness on all kinds of topics with regards to money. I mean, money influences pretty much everything we do in life, and it's important to have an understanding of it, to be aware of things you could obstacles you could face, the right habits to have. It's generally a fun topic. Everyone has some interesting experience about money. So I just started this talk show 2 years ago to bring out these stories and make sure we learn from each other's mistakes and the things that we did right. And it has been a great 2 years. I've had a lot of fun meeting amazing speakers from all around the world. And today's speaker is no less. It's going to be amazing to have a conversation with our speaker today. But if you are someone who'd like to stay connected with Money Matters and make sure you do not miss any of the episodes that we have, hit the link in description where you can join our official Telegram group. And in that group, we'll be sending updates to our upcoming episodes. Or if you're watching this on any of the social media or YouTube channel, just hit that subscribe button or follow button so that you don't miss an episode. So without further ado, let's get into our session today. We have a very, very, very interesting speaker. I'm very glad I got to meet him. He's someone who has a very, very kind heart and someone who looks back into giving back to society, which is something I value a lot. Is something that I think is one of the most important values to have as a human being. So having a conversation with him was one of the best things ever. We have Navaneet, or you can call him Nick, and he is someone who comes from a similar background as me, accounting and all of that. So we connect a lot in that basis. But other than that, currently he's the CEO and founder of Koirala Capital, as well as the president and founder of K Foundation as global as well. So he has a lot of expertise with regards to managing his money and his clients' money, and at the same time, I think giving back to society in a way that helps you, but and also helps other people as well. So without further ado, let's dive into this story. I think it's going to be very, very amazing. Welcoming Nick on screen.
Uh, Thank you, Mathura. Thanks. It was quite a good introduction. I'm amazed. I feel
Thank
good like when I hear something good from other people. So thank you so much. And
thank,
then yeah,
thank you.
it's always good to hear what you have achieved from others, and you just start bragging about yourself. So
Yes, that's true. Although we
yeah,
should share about what we have done, right? So
you
we
have
will be
to.
diving.
Definitely you have to, but like it's more important like when the people start seeing from other people's eyes, then that will more much matter than from what you see from your eyes.
Agree, completely
Yes,
agree. Thank you so much for
thank you.
joining the
Yep.
show today. It really, really means a lot. Maybe just to get started, I'm gonna go a bit of background, like how I mean, think a lot of people think if you're an accountant or you're in the tax field and all of that, you're going to be an expert in money. You're not going to make any mistakes with regards to money. And I face this a lot with my own finances. Like people think I get everything right, and it's not true. So, how was your own
Yep.
experience with regards to money when you were younger? Were you someone who was excited about it, and how has it evolved from when you were young?
Yeah, when I was young, I made many mistakes because
Yep.
everybody make mistakes. It will be your opportunity to grow better, bigger, and then better in your personal finances, and then your education, your career, everything. So when talking about money, when I was young, I thought like credit card was like something that I got like gift from someone, and then I can just keep on spending and then blowing out on going out buying gadgets. But when I started like okay getting in trap about these credit cards, it's been years. It took me like years to get out, and then to understand like okay, this is the trap that will destroy your personal finance throughout your life, because you will be keep on paying interest, and then your balance will never reduce. So
Yep.
I would advise all young entrepreneurs, young professionals who are in college, understand about the credit card. Credit card will destroy you,
Yep.
which will not let you build your financial wealth, your personal wealth. But on the other hand, credit card can be your safe haven when you are in the difficulties. So you
Yep.
gotta need to understand both side, like how to use it, because debt is a king. Like, a lot of people say like cash is king, but if you know how to manage debt, debt will actually make you money. But if something that will start generating you a cash flow from a debt, that debt is a good debt. But like credit card debt, if something that you can get out of that credit card debt, then yeah, it's a good debt. But like if that can trap you, then it's gonna be a lot of big mess in your financial well
Yes.
building. And then if you understand this from the young age, like in 20s, it's definitely you're gonna make like a lot of money, because of a compounding, time value money, if you understand and be patient. I would advise like a lot of young kids to understand the finance and start investing, and
Yep.
then understand about the debt, and then taxes, and then inflation and interest. That's the four dynamics that money matters. I like, I know money matters, but like those are the four dynamics. If you understand, then your money will keep growing.
Agreed, agreed. I like that.
Yeah.
Usually, I would ask my speakers, "What's the biggest mistake that you've done?" But you kind of already answered that. So before I go more deeper into your story, your journey, and all of
Mhm.
that, I want to ask another one of my favorite icebreaker questions in a way, which is, I think a lot of us, there's different things that we hold close to our hearts, or more like we kind of different principles that we value. There are some of
Yep.
us, like we said, who are all about keeping cash, and that's all they kind of value or focus on. There are some people who are about debt management or being debt free and all of that. So in your personal life, and or maybe in your business as well, what is one
Mhm.
principle with regards to money that you follow very diligently?
Uh, I have a, 5 rules of money, like
Okay.
about like, okay, I need to know how to earn money. I need to know how to spend money. I need
Okay.
to know how to save money. I need to know how to invest money, and I need to know how to give money.
Very nice.
Because principles of money, it's a law of, money, because money matters, but like money gives life, and or money can destroy your life. So that's why, saving is very important, because you have to save for your, rainy days. And
Yep.
investing is very important. You want to make your money work for you. And then, and then third is like I said, like, in giving is very important, because if you keep all the energy to yourself, it can be toxic. So
Yep.
you have to give that energy to prosper the society. And uh, another one is like investing, saving, spending, because you want to buy something. If you earn something, then you want to buy something to enjoy. You have to go and then give that money back to the economy, so that economy keep on running. If you don't spend, and then if you just keep it to yourself, economy will not like you. You have to know how to spend it too.
Yep. I love that. Earning, spending, saving, investing, and then
Thing
giving.
and
I
giving.
think I think that's a very nice five areas of personal finance that we can look at. So in terms of earning, like I think one of the things that I am very uh, curious to talk about, or something that has been going on in my personal life with the people I interact with, is in terms of earning, putting yourself out there and actually pushing yourself to earn. Like I think in your personal experience, you were employed for like you worked with some of the big four audit companies that is known worldwide, and you had a very well developed career there, and then you made a switch into entrepreneurship, which I'm sure is a very challenging task in a way, because anyone who has gone into entrepreneurship will be able to tell you that it is definitely challenging. So in your personal experience, what has earning been like? Like is it worth it to make that transfer to entrepreneurship, and how do you ensure that you maintain that motivation to keep on earning and growing in a way?
Yes, it was a challenge, but every step of your life will be a challenge. And
Yep.
it was a great opportunity. Like when I graduated and started at Big Four, started with with Grant Thornton, and then went to PwC. I'm in quite a bit like big four firms, like different firms, which helped me get into a different areas of industries from healthcare, sports industries, banking, not for profit, and I was able to grasp all the knowledge that I could while I was working over there, and then now I'm able to give it back to our community. Having my own firm, posting about all the tax benefits and tax knowledge that I can have was given it to corporates and to the smaller businesses and individuals who need to be aware of these tax laws, because biggest expenses in the United States and around the world is tax expenses.
Yep.
Especially for small businesses, they need to understand tax is the biggest expenses in their P&L, and a lot of small businesses they ignore it because there are many thousands of tax legal loopholes that they can actually use to reinvest in their business, reinvest in themselves, the individuals, but they don't do it. It's like something like you sign up in the gym on New Year's Eve, want to have a six pack, and then you don't go back, and then you end up with one pack. you know it's same thing, like you have to understand the taxes, because taxes is very important for individuals and then
Yep.
for the small businesses.
Yep.
And
I like that you brought up taxes, because if you are talking about spending, many
yeah.
times the decisions we make with regards to spending does influence our taxes. And so if someone, I think the word tax just freaks everybody out. Like, I don't know why most people don't even want to go near that topic. So for someone who is super afraid of that word, or they have been avoiding taxes all their lives, and they, not as in avoiding as in not paying, but like they don't like to talk about it, how do they
Mhm.
get started? Because as you mentioned, it's one of the most important things to focus on.
Yeah, I would start with like actually going to the experts like us who have a vast knowledge of like have experience on big firms and then big industries. They are exposed to a lot of tax topics, a lot of tax laws. They have put their hands on. They have seen the audit from IRS. They have seen how to avoid audits. And then basically, this is just a fear that a lot of people, like a lot of small businesses and a lot of individuals, are having because tax. Oh, I have to pay taxes, and they get scared. Like, oh, I'll get an audit from IRS. I can't take this. I can't take that. It's just a fear that you put it in a mind, and you just like putting yourself not to expand yourself on the horizon, because most of the money is actually taken away by taxes. Then you can't grow. Your business will never grow. It will never gonna grow. And then tax is something that United States or any other countries is taking to hold that money and giving back on a tax season so that economy can flourish. You know what I mean? And then that's actually the dynamics of tax. If somebody is get, like for example in the United States, we get like tax season from January through April. A lot of monies are withheld, in their paychecks. So during that time, winter time, they do their taxes and they get the tax refund, so that money, big money, will actually inject into economy to go. Somebody will go to vacation, people will buy car. This is like a government to actually flow our economy. And then they have given millions of like thousands of like strategies to actually inject back to economy. And then I would recommend like small businesses, entrepreneur who are trying to actually grow their business, you first need to understand the taxes and then get the benefits, because somebody who are entrepreneur probably is working on their W2 somewhere and then starting their gig, on a side, because nobody
Yep.
have that luxury to like, okay, do everything because they have to pay the bills and then stuff. But that startup cost that they incur, even the revenue is not generating, that can be offset your income from whatever you're earning, will give you some tax returns, refunds, which can actually reinvest to your startups. But people don't do it.
Yep.
And they fail because they can't generate revenue. And then they will like, "Oh, okay, I can't generate revenue, I have to pay the bills, I have to lose my dream." And then if somebody's starting like entrepreneurship, that's a dream. If you give up away your dream, then why did you start first? you know
Yep. Yep.
so
I
you need to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
think the taxes is something that actually influences all the five areas that you mentioned earlier. So
Yes.
like these expenditures that we're taking in, the income part, how you're earning, it's also going to affect your taxes. How about savings? Does it even have an influence on taxes, or is it completely two different areas?
No, there is a lot of, especially in the United States, they give like incentives to retirement plannings,
Yep.
like okay, if you are a small business, then you can actually put 61K, and every year inflation goes up and they hike up about 66K or something to your retirement accounts. Imagine if a business is earning 100K and you can keep that $66,000 in your retirement, your income is already reduced back to 30, how much, 34K, and then you have other breaks from your standard deductions and other expenses. You pretty much coming down to like $5,000 net income, which is not going to be taxed. Your taxes will be almost zero
Yep.
if you don't plan. If you go
Yep.
to accountant and give them like, okay, I earn 100K, and if he files taxes, if you're self-employed, you're gonna end up paying $40,000 to the government. But if you use that strategy, it's $0. You're paying taxes, and $66,000 going to your retirement investment, which will your money will start working for you, and it will start building your wealth
Yep.
on in your retirement. And a lot of small businesses doesn't know about these things. What if like their business goes down after 20 years with something like a pandemic happened? A lot of small businesses failed because they didn't have a cash flow, because they didn't plan. And we
Yep.
don't want to see that happening in next generation. Like we are going to the next economical cycle, coming back from pandemic, coming back from this high record, 40 years record inflation. Fed is trying to keep hiking the interest rate to come down the inflation. So now we are actually heading into a new cycle. So now all the small businesses need to understand these things, because this is going to happen in another 10 or 15 years, something. So
Yep.
like 2008 was a financial crisis, housing market crisis, now pandemic. There will be something coming up because it's a cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
like that. I mean, the concept of the retirement funds and pension funds and actually channeling some of your
mhm,
savings there so that you do get the tax benefits. I think this applies to most countries. They have some
it does.
form of these arrangements. Like in Malaysia,
Yeah.
it's called, like, we have our employment provident fund, where if we contribute, we are getting some reliefs with regards to our taxes. So this applies to most countries. So understanding this is very, very important. Just taking up the effort to read up a little bit about it and taking the right
Yep.
actions to go there.
Yep.
But investment, I think that is like something more bigger. Like you are saving the pension plans and all of that. It's a bit
hmm
more simpler. Most people do take those actions. I feel, but when it goes to investment, everyone just goes, "I know this is too big for me. I can't pay. I can't do this." In your personal experience, what are the areas of uh, I mean, like, how does taxes influence in terms of investment?
Investments. Yeah, taxes does influence investments because there are different ways of doing investments. Like one is like retirement funds. You
Yep.
you have a tax deferral. You will not pay taxes until you take the money out, like when you need retirement. There's a trading, like you can trade. You have a capital gains taxes, short term and long term, and then you have other taxes like on the investments, like your child custodian accounts. You can open a custodian account for your child. But these taxes can also manage based on, like, if you are a trader, like I'm a
Mhm.
trader too, I trade. At the beginning I didn't know, I made many mistakes. That's why I went to Harvard to actually need to start understanding about how money, how hedge funds actually work, how
Yep.
actually margin works. If I want to make money from other people's money, that's the only way that you can grow your wealth. If you're trying to be a trader or a hedge fund manager or something, then there is something that you have to elect yourself as a trader status with the IRS. Then your capital gain can actually consider as an ordinary income, and I can write off business expenses. That will significantly reduces my taxes. I can give away which can actually help my reduce my taxes, and that's how I started my foundation. When I started,
Yep.
when I became a day trader, stay home dad, day trader with my 9 months old son, I started trading, and then okay, money's coming, every day money's coming. And now I see like, oh, I owe the government now, so what is another way of like actually doing something? It's not that I don't want to pay taxes, but the government gives you these incentives to start,
Yeah.
like, hey, if you want to start something, if you want to welfare the society, then hey, here's the law, but use it wisely. Don't take money from one pocket to another pocket. No, that's not that's illegal. And then
Yep.
if somebody does that, then that's something wrong. But I was like, okay, I started a non-for-profit during pandemic, started feeding animals in Kathmandu, dogs, monkeys, cows, and then some people who are in need. One of my partner in Kathmandu, he's Saurav Rimal. His foundation name is Karma Yoga Foundation. He's the president, so I was supporting his incentives
Yep.
during the pandemic. So we did a lot of good stuff in Nepal, and then I was able to grow my foundation from Nepal to Kenya. From now it's in Sri Lanka, now in Pakistan. Now I'm expanding to Caribbean islands and in Africa. So and then now I feel like I'm doing something for the society. It gives me more power, more energy to like, okay, if I earn more money, then I can actually give a break and then actually prosper the society. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that was one of the good feelings of like, out of that five law, giving is one of the most important thing that influenced me. And then as you say, like, Lord Krishna always tells you like, don't expect what you do, results will come to you. And then if you give it more, then it will come back to you with thousandfolds.
Yep.
And I have experienced that. When I started giving, oh, it's coming. If you give one, it multiplies like 10 or 20 times. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's very nice. I like that how you have kind of like seen the different areas, and I think that's the benefit of, like you mentioned, going to someone who is an expert. So trying to figure this out and crack your head and how your country's tax laws work
Hmm.
may not always be the time efficient method to work through this. Finding someone who is already an expert in this and just working together with them to learn this, I think would be hugely beneficial.
Yeah.
This Money Matters show is very much, the audiences are very much students. So for students to get started with regards to their personal finance journey
Yep.
and making sure that they're setting the right foundations now, when they are in high school and middle school, what would be some of the things that you'd have done for yourself, maybe,
Yeah.
or you'd have learned yourself?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are many traps that you can get in. There's a traps in every step. Like, okay, the traps, like one trap is like credit card is a trap.
Yeah.
So I got into that trap. I get out of it. I'm still like, it took me many years to get out of it. That was a trap, which will destroy your finances, personal finances. Next thing is like once you graduate, you get a good job. Okay, you get a like in a nice job, six figures jobs. Then you get trapped into mortgage, and then a car mortgage payment, car payments.
Yep.
That can trap you for 30 years. You can't get out. You can't get out. Now you're trapped because now you earn, and what banks tricks you, they tricks you based on like they give you loan based on your gross income. They don't give you a loan on your net income because net income is something that you already paid 30-40% of taxes.
Yeah.
It's not in your hand, it's gone. And then whatever you get, so you making the 100K, you're paying almost 35% taxes if you're single. Then you're making 65K, you bring in 65K home, and now your mortgage is $4,000. Now you're paying $48,000 to your mortgage, and then 80% is your interest and only not your principal. So and then you buy a car, you have to eat, you have to go out, you're negative. You're negative net worth for almost 30 years. Your life is gone.
Yep.
So you gotta understand, like if you are a young entrepreneur or young professionals who actually gets a good job at corporate or something,
Yeah.
you gotta build that wealth. Understand, if you have a dream to be an entrepreneur, don't get into these bigger liabilities which can actually hold you up for your dreams. You
Yes.
know, people want to do it, but like hey, I have a mortgage, and then when you have a kids, you have an insurance to pay. You can't get out of that trap.
Yep.
You're done. It's sealed. And many of them are in that trap. And more you make money, your tax brackets goes up. You paying more to the government, and then when you make more money, then you want to upgrade your homes, like from townhouse to a single homes. Now from single homes to a mansion. Now from Toyota to a Beamer. Now Beamer to a Porsche, and from Porsches to Ferrari.
Yep.
It's keep going. So you gotta have that satisfaction in your mind. Money brings you happiness, but you have to bring that satisfaction. Okay, when I am going to be satisfied, because that will keep on growing. Because you will not be happy. Money can't make you happy. Money will make you happy if you use it wisely, even with the little money.
Yep.
But even with the big money, if you tie up with a bigger liability, then most importantly, its cash flow is very important.
Yep.
Even if you are making $2 million and your cash flow is negative, you're gonna go bankrupt within a year. But if you're making $50,000 and your cash flow is $30,000 and you invest, you will be a millionaire, and then other person who was a millionaire today will be a bankrupt driving a Toyota, and you will be driving a Ferrari, because your money will be actually paying for your Ferrari. You will be
Yep.
not paying for a Ferrari. So that's my advice away from when you start your job.
Yes.
And
I like that.
don't get trapped.
Any other traps that we should take a look at?
Yeah, another tax trap. Like if you're starting a trading company, if
Yep.
you started a stock trading, everybody into trading these days, because during the pandemic, Robinhood and stuff, there's a like trader tax trap. Like they trade and they don't think about throughout the year,
Yep.
and they owe taxes to government, and then they actually get into that money into more investing, being greedy, and lose that money. And then when time comes, the IRS will come and, hey, you made $1 million, now you owe me 400K taxes, and then you don't even have a 400K in portfolio, or 20K in a portfolio, and then you owe them government a lot. That's gonna be a disaster. They will come after your house, they will take your banks, they will rely on your W2 income. It's a disaster. But
I like that you pointed that out, because most of the times you're very aware when it's clear cut things that we receive the money, like, oh, okay, I did my job for this month, I'm receiving my pay. It's very obvious for us, so we tend to remember it. But like what you said, there's some incomes that we earn which are that I think many people do overlook. And then towards the end, they're like, "Oh yeah, I had this income, and I forgot to account that in," and all kinds of things happens. And
yeah,
I love your example of trading as well, especially because like you mentioned, during the pandemic, a lot of youngsters started exploring this and went into it. And I think
exactly.
it's important for them to know that, hey, this will bite you if you do not account for
Exactly.
it.
Even one kid, like he commits suicide because of not understanding the
Yep.
options. You know, I don't know if you heard in the news or something. He's 21 years old, commits
My
suicide because his balance was negative 700K for the
wow.
options which wasn't been settled.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
there's
painful.
there's settled fund. It's not that you owe them, and
Yep.
then he commits suicide. Thinking that he has to pay back that 700K. So
Yep.
you gotta understand this is a very dangerous game. Like you have to understand. Even I have burned out a lot during my beginning career. Then I went to Harvard to understand, like, hey, okay, what are the stuff? And you get a secrets in big school. I
Yep.
definitely tell you, like, all the big secrets are in the big school.
Yep.
I
Yep.
found out, like, hey, how much I margin, how many days I can settle my margin, how do
Yeah.
I have to use the margin, what margin can do to me, all sort of stuff. Those hedge funds guys make billions because of all the knowledge from Harvard
Yep.
or
Yep.
something from big school.
Big schools. Yep. So with regards to, because you do work with, I think,
Hmm.
smaller the entrepreneurs and all of that as well. So for entrepreneurs, despite their personal finances that they need to look at? What are some good best practices to have in terms of operating a business with regards to cash flows or income or even taxes in a way?
Yeah. Most importantly, entrepreneurs when they start, they don't generate revenue.
Yeah,
It takes time. It's a building block. I would say, like, don't, like, be frustrated, because every businesses doesn't start with like big money or something.
yeah,
Revenue is like a building block, like, like a drop of water in a bucket will fill you up. It's a time. You have to be patient.
yeah,
So when, as a startup, like, there will be first phase will be like you're investing capital, investing your time. Your time is also capital, your brain, your ideas. So investing is the first phase, and then you'll be planning, like, okay, what will be your plan of attack? Who will be my target market? If your network is the biggest net worth, so if you have a business, your network is the biggest net worth, and you have to go to the customer, you have to go to the client and actually sit with them, give a free advice, give a free service, which can actually turn their things around. Like, okay, if I'm a planner, tax advisor, then I will go to my client, whoever already have their accountants or CPA, I give them a free advice and then actually put their numbers in my calculator and then show them a difference, like what they will get and what they will get from my services. Then they will definitely switch. But I have to go. People will not come to me because people may think like, okay, he may be, those this information might be false or something. But if I show them in a calculator and something, they will switch. So entrepreneurs need to actually be patient. Money will not come probably like 1 or 2 years. If you have quit your job, and then because in job you get a constant W-2, your money is coming, but you may get like, okay, mm, feel like you are failing, or you feel like, okay, you are not improving. Don't fall back. If you fall back, there's no chance to getting up. Fall forward, rest a while, replan, redirect yourself, and then come back as a strong lion, and then go for a hunting again. Even lion goes and sleep 24 hours before he goes and hunt another one. So you will fail. I have failed many times, and then every failures will make you much 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 stronger, because
yeah,
that's the way you can see, like, okay, what mistake I made, how can I improve, how can I avoid these kind of mistakes next time, because every entrepreneur have to fail.
yeah,
Without burning, you can't learn. Even if I talk right now, you talk, if we post it, even some of the entrepreneurs listen to our conversation, even they go and listen to all this big successful entrepreneur,
yeah,
they will not do that. I will
yep,
guarantee you, because it's impulse of mind, that how it plays. Our mind is very different, unique. And then
yes,
when that thing happens, then only they will realize, and then they will avoid those mistakes.
yes. I like what you brought up of there's high
Exactly.
chances you're not going to follow, and you'll only learn when you go through the mistake, which is something I was having a conversation about today. Where I'm talking to this particular person and I'm trying to like create the awareness that hey,
Yeah,
this may not be
I would say entrepreneur to make mistakes, actually.
yes,
Make mistakes, because that mistakes will make you better,
yep,
stronger, and then sustainable. Because if you don't make mistakes, maybe when you make mistake, when it is a bigger stuff, then there's no chance of coming back.
yep,
But why, when you are making mistakes, enjoy that process, and then enjoy the process. Don't enjoy the result, because result will come every time. Like, because if you enjoy the process, then you will get to the destination. It's not a destination, it's a journey. I would say, like, any entrepreneur journey. Like, now I have like different ventures. Like, now my mind is again starting for a new venture. Okay, now this thing is already picking up, it's running automatically. Now what's next?
yeah,
Because you
yeah,
are so you enjoy that process that you don't want to get out.
yep, yep. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you talk about falling forward, and even if you take the break and then you go back in and you go back stronger. What what makes us what is the the distinguishing factor in a way that makes sure that you fall forward and not fall backwards? Like, what is the few things that we need to do?
Yeah, your mindset, your confidence, and then believe in yourself, believe in your ideas. Why did you start? And then, every probably you are tired, you are like, it's not working because, like when the time is right, it will be your time. When the time is in your court, you don't even have to do anything. Everything will be done by Lord Krishna. You just be like, okay, sit there, and everything is automatically happening. You will see
Yep.
the miracles happening. Oh, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Because you were investing a lot, and then nobody sees when any entrepreneur is building his empire because he's hidden. Nobody is like, okay, watching you. Nobody is like knowing you, because you are actually building a bigger foundation that when it starts showing up, like it starts gonna grow, 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 and then people can't catch up, and then they will be like shocked, like, oh, when did he do it? But that thing is probably is happening many, 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 many years ago, because
Yep.
you are building blocks. So you have to be patient. Rome wasn't built overnight. Elon Musk didn't build his Tesla overnight. He was sleeping like 24. He was working 24/7, sleeping
Yep.
at the garage and stuff. All the innovations, all the entrepreneurs have to be persistent. Even if you have to go back to work to earn your livelihood, try to give some time. Give even like little time. It's like a compounding. It will compound. Same
Yep.
thing with your body. Like, if you work out, if you've been working out for many years, your muscles, your bone density are getting stronger, and after 7 or 8 years, when you start doing workout, you will start seeing the result, because it's not because of the last minute result, but it is because of what you did been doing
Hmm.
consistently, smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It will add up.
Yep.
Same thing with like investments, and then entrepreneurships,
Yep. Everything adds up at
anything.
the end of
Your
the day.
mindset is important.
Yep. Love that. Love
Yep,
that.
yep. Everything adds up, and then your mindset is something that is more important, because mind is what will tell you what is wrong, what is right, and then if you believe in yourself, I would say don't listen to anybody. If they want to come and tell you you're gonna fail, take the criticism and ask them like, well, hey, why I will fail? Can you give me some reason? Then you can actually see those reasons, and then maybe somebody can work on it, and get back onto it. I would take every criticism as my opportunity. Every criticism. I will not react. If you react, then you will fail.
I love
if
that.
you
I
if,
love
if you if you take that criticism, that will be an opportunity to actually grow yourself. Like if I open a restaurant, my food is not good. If somebody comes and complains, then I will not take that as a criticism. I'll try to make it better. Take it as an opportunity. If one person didn't like my food, then maybe another person would not like my food too.
that.
So
Very,
yeah.
very, very nice. I think it's very, very valuable advice as well, something that applies to all areas of life.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
thank you.
and then first you have to actually take care of yourself. You
Yeah.
need to have a self love. If you don't have a self love, then other people will not love you. If you don't love yourself, that's how other people will treat you.
Yep.
You know.
Very true, very true.
So if
So
you treat yourself, and then you have to take care of yourself, because without you, every, if you are there, everything exists. If you're not there, nothing will exist around you.
I like that. My God, this is like back to back life
Yeah.
lessons coming in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask like one final thing to wrap up our
Okay.
session today as we come to the end of our time. You did already give me like 5, 6 life lessons at the end. But if there is just one thing out of the many, many things that we have spoken in today's session that the audience should take away, what would
Mhm.
it be?
Uh, I would say self love, because
Okay.
if you exist, everything will exist. If you don't exist, nothing will exist. So you need to
Beautiful.
have a self love, because that will give you more confidence. on what you're doing. It will let your ideas alive. It will let your it will push you to be on other lions. If the lion was hunted by hyenas, you go back, rest, and come back and then hunt those hyenas. So because if you are strong, then everybody will treat you as a lion king.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. If people would
Yeah.
like to get in touch with you or find out what you're doing, is there a particular place that you would like them to head to? Any websites or any social media?
Yeah, they can connect me in my LinkedIn
Yep.
or social media, Facebook. They can go to my company page, like social media page Koirala Capital, or they can reach out through K Foundation Global. They can see like what we've been doing. Even they can be part of my foundation. They can be a volunteer, because we are a presidential volunteer certified organization, which will help those kids to get to Ivy League schools, scholarships. Professionals can get like their professional jobs. Like, a lot of our volunteers have got into Ivy League schools. They have got many scholarships. They have even got a USMLE, match. Some
Yeah.
doctors who are like, so I have built a platform for everybody. It's
Yep.
K Foundation is actually for everybody, and Koirala Capital is also for everybody. So take
Beautiful.
all the many taxes topics I've been posting in my business page, in which can actually help our community, because
Yep.
small businesses, there are 39 million small businesses in the United States. I can't file 39 million taxes. Actually, those knowledge what I've been passing will help someone somewhere out there, you know
Yes. Beautiful,
Yep.
beautiful. So for those of you guys who tune in and you'd like to find out more, I think I'll drop the links are also in the description. You guys can check it out. You can connect with him on LinkedIn
Sounds
or
good.
check out the websites as well. Thank you so much, Nick, for being my
Yeah,
guest speaker.
thank you, Mathura. And we will be in touch, and then I will definitely
Yes,
want to help you, on your journey as well, because
yes.
um,
Thank you.
the journey has to be together. Nobody can walk alone or get
Yep,
together. Money journey, and then we all have to help each other, and then how we can help each other. Definitely, my network will be your network. Your network will be my network to
yep.
share the knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
Collaboration brings, I mean, the solutions to the
Yes.
world.
Yeah. Always like two brains. A lot of like big mindsets people actually take this as an opportunity to learn from each other than the threat. But some people who think like, oh, another guy coming into this industry, if that person is thinking as a threat, then that person will definitely fail, because he doesn't have a
Yep,
confidence that,
yep,
hey, what I can get from these guys,
yep,
you know
yep,
because it's a whole world is big, the economy is big. Think
yep.
big. Think big, then you will definitely gonna win.
Yep. Agreed. Completely agree. Again, you keep bringing it in. I love it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Nick. I had a lot of fun.
no problem.
Hope to see you probably in some of our future episodes as well on different topics. All the best on
Definitely.
whatever you're working on. And for the audiences, thank you so much for tuning in for Money Matters today. Really, really appreciate your time. Hope you guys learned something and apply the things that you guys have learned today. And see you guys at the next episode. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you. Bye.